Welcome back. It's Before You Say I Do, and today we are going to be delving into this topic, speaking your partner's love language. Ooh, I like this one. And with us, we have Reverend Bernie Osei-Dua, who is a counselor and also a coach. Hi, Reverend.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
I do well. How about you?
I'm fine. Do you speak your partner's love language?
I love to think so.
You love to think so. All right, so before I get into that conversation, what are love languages?
So I think it's a concept that was propounded by Gary Chapman. After a numerous study, he came out with 5 love languages.
Right.
And that's been globally accepted. And he outlined them to be words of affirmation, which has to do with the fact that people appreciate when you express, levels of affirmation through the things you say, and then also quality time, spending quality time,
I like that too.
with your partner.
Yeah.
They love it when you spend time with them. These are the people usually, whether money or not, broke or plenty, as long as you're giving them the attention and the time, they are in love. Of course, receiving gifts is the third one.
Yeah, that's very
I
me.
know that's your...
That's very me. If you could give me gifts, I'll be the happiest person.
No, that's you. And then, of course, the act of service.
Yes.
When people really enjoy when they are being served, when they have, either they are giving it or they're receiving it.
Right.
It gives them that level of satisfaction.
Right.
And then also there's what we call the element of touch as a love language.
That I love too.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Because I actually did the test, and then that was second, and the first one was actually receiving gifts, because I love to give gifts too. And the second one was the touch, and then we have the quality time, I think, yeah.
Well, recently on social media, slave queens also believe that money is their love language. Unfortunately, some of them are broke, that they are not speaking their own love language. So I like to put them in the category of receiving gifts.
Well, which is not a bad thing. All gifts are gifts. Anyway, so why are love languages important in relationships?
I think it's important to understand what makes your partner tick, what makes them get triggered, what makes their love get really aroused, what makes them really come out. And when you are able to identify what works for them, it helps you to be able to know how to connect with them.
Yeah.
Either than that, you could be applying a lot of good things to something that is ineffective on your partner. Let's use an example like tickling a person. There are aspects of a person that tickles them. It might not tickle the next person. For someone, if you put your hand next to their neck, they're tickled.
Yeah.
For someone, needs to be on their side.
Right.
Someone's tickling comes under their foot. Someone is on the earlobe.
Right.
I mean, people, so you need to find what works with the person, and then you can apply it. And understanding the love language of your partner helps you to know how they can actually be swept off their feet.
Okay, so how do you understand the love language of your partner? Do you ask them, babe, what's your love language? Or you have to find out yourself?
I think combining both is not bad. But if you're the kind that is very observant, and you can find it and surprise them. Because one of the elements about discovering things about your partner and surprising them with it, it actually has a pro max on its impact. So if you can find the things that really excites your partner, and you can bring it to the table without them knowing. When you surprise them to that note, it has its own impact on them. And I think that, if you find out, great. But in the areas where you cannot find everything out, because some people can be very enclosed, and if you cannot find everything out, there's nothing wrong to ask so that you would know. Because see, sometimes, especially our mothers, our women, our sisters, many of them think that guys are good at reading minds. Guys are useless at reading minds.
Very useless.
They are.
Very.
You thought you're giving signals and cues. Dude, that dude does not understand it.
He doesn't understand.
He doesn't get it. And the fact that he said, but I was showing you signs. What signs? The guy is not he doesn't read sign language. So it's important that you educate your partner if he's not getting it. And that is how you can get him to respond appropriately.
All right, so what are some of the challenges that people face when it comes to adapting their partner's love language?
Sometimes people think what works on them
Should work.
should work on the other side. That is the first thing, the delusion to think that this is what works for me. I love to do, acts of service, being helpful. And when I do that, I have this satisfaction when I'm helping others, when I'm really supporting, I'm going the extra mile. And just to hear that thank you, it does so much. Someone like that, when you marry them and they do the whole world, they go the whole 9 yards for you, and you don't say that thank you. You don't come to say, hey, you know what, we see how you are out there fighting just to keep us and to make sure we've got all we need. We appreciate you. Those things, that's it for them. Now, because for them, they feel that if you do it, that's it. I mean, why do you need a thank you? It's your obligation. It's your job. Immediately you see it in that way. You're beginning to give room for conflict. Because at the end of the day, you're not giving your partner the things that will get them really to be responding in your direction. And trust me, even when they know what your love language is and they should be responding, they will try, if you're not careful, to pay back that, you know what, okay, then leave it.
So now, what role does open communication actually play in uncovering someone's love language?
The magic. Educated. Hey, what makes you tick? Finding those things out is magical.
Why is it so hard for us to talk about it? Not us. I will talk about it because you might be doing word of affirmation with me and it's not working. I'll just tell you, I can affirm myself. I understand
I
how
know I'm
to.
beautiful. I know I smell good.
I know.
I know.
I'm gracious.
My mother told me.
Everybody told me. So if you're doing word affirmation with me, it will not work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I like to say, oh, look, I like gifts. This is my thing. And I also show you, I give you gifts too. But right now, what role does open communication play?
I think it helps to educate, to be honest. I said something earlier on. A lot of people cannot read between the lines. Neither are they able to really, honestly pick things up, pick up the cues.
Especially men.
Oh, no, men don't do well.
Because like a woman will be like, this hair, I need to change it. And that's the cue. I need new hair.
Yeah.
I need new hair.
Yeah.
And the man like, okay, babe.
So you should understand that few men will pick it up.
Yeah.
But lots of us men, nah.
They don't know.
If you need it, you gotta say it.
Yes. You just have to say
And
it.
it's how men are wired. It's how men think, the direction of their thoughts are. And I think that I don't know why this has taken so long for our women to understand that we are not like them. What you think you're giving signal, they should pick it up. What makes it difficult to rather share? Hey, you know what? I love it when you do things.
Yes.
When you go this way. Do you understand? Some will even use question, how do I look? Right. So immediately they are telling you they want. So he said, you know what? Anytime I ask you how do I look, I really want you to go all in or out. Yeah. I'm typically the guy who wants to tell you the truth. And my wife will tell you, as for Kwabena, how don't even bother yourself. Because if it's not, he will tell you, irrespective of who. And I think that I'm the kind typically that if you ask me, I'll give you my opinion. So I'll usually say, do you want the truth or the politically correct answer? Choose your pick. And then by what you choose, but usually that's on the joking side. So I think the open communication helps to educate your partner, to understand what works for you so that they can have the best of you. Because if it doesn't, it means that there are arenas within your love relationship you'll enjoy, and there are aspects in the deeper realms you might never get.
Well, now let's talk about the deeper realm, like emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Now, how can couples actually, or partners actually, develop their emotional intelligence to be in tune with the next person's feeling?
See, emotional intelligence is a very intricate, subject. It's very critical.
Very.
For any success in any kind of relationship, not just in love relationships, any kind of relationship. For someone to be emotionally intelligent, this is someone who has self-awareness. They understand who they are. They understand their limits, their strengths, their weaknesses. But beyond that, they also have self-regulation. They are able to regulate themselves. They can choose their reaction. They can choose when In fact, they can postpone a reaction.
Right.
This is someone who has control.
Postpone.
Oh, yeah, you can. I mean, someone does something you're supposed to flip.
Yeah.
You decide, you know what, this is not the right time. I'll come back to this. It's not gone. You know, so when you meet people like that, they are emotionally intelligent. An emotionally intelligent person is someone who can walk you out of their homes and they don't break a hair. They don't, because they believe that having you in that environment is toxic for them. And as long as it's not helping them grow or achieve something, they think that you shouldn't be here.
Right.
And it doesn't matter who they are, they'll walk you out because they feel that they must regulate the environment in which they find themselves before you mess it up
for it to be healthy for
exactly.
them. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you have an emotionally intelligent person and you're still looking for, you know, affirmations and places that should give you truth, trust me, you wouldn't, you know, endure much in that environment, because that guy will not lie to you. That lady will not lie to you. If you think they're going to say things to feed your ego as a guy, because no, they won't. An emotionally intelligent person will tell you the truth, looking at you, all protocols observed, but they will still tell you the truth, because it is something they think that they need to help you to face in that reality. That is an emotionally intelligent person. But if you want them to pamper your emotions and massage your ego, it's not going to happen. And these are the things that if you have in a man, if you have in a woman and you hang out with them, you must be able to understand the coordinates with which they navigate with you. If not, you'll be frustrated all your life.
Wow.
Having or being in a relationship with them.
All right. So on that note, let's take a quick break and we will be right back. All right, welcome back to Before You Say I Do, and we're having a conversation with Reverend Bernie Osedia, and we're talking about speaking your partner's love language. All right, Rev, right now, you know, a lot of people like to be pampered with the truth, especially women. So now because we talked about emotional intelligence, now how do we prepare ourselves for some of those truths? Does that mean the woman herself also needs to be emotionally intelligent?
Exactly.
Or the other partner needs to also be emotionally intelligent?
Exactly. See, an emotionally intelligent person is not going to say to you the things that they know is not going to help you.
Right.
They wouldn't lie to you about it. They will tell you rather the truth, and they expect that, you know what, you should be able to embrace that truth and deal with it.
But, you know, sorry, let me just interrupt. Sometimes people come out very rude and very harsh without thinking and say things, you know, anyhow, just say things maybe how they are without applying emotions, without applying, you know, what is going on.
That's
all
not emotionally intelligent.
Okay, exactly.
That is not.
So we need to differentiate
so that's
that.
someone who is blunt.
Exactly. We need we need to differentiate
exactly.
that.
You see, they'll be calm when talking to you because they know what they are saying to you is heavy. They understand. The reason why they are emotionally intelligent is that they understand how you take it. So you're living in a household with someone that anytime you share feedback with her, she breaks down. She won't talk to you for 2 weeks. She will cry. She will get into a reserve mode for the next 2 months. She will not. I've dealt with people where the guy got married to this girl. They loved themselves. They dated for a couple of years. When they got married, first situation that got a fight was something that she didn't understand. The guy said, no, it shouldn't happen. Spoke about it, left for work. When he got back, the woman didn't cook. Why? He wasn't happy for whatever was shared. And this guy did not insult you, didn't say anything, just gave you feedback about something and didn't cook. The guy snapped. He said, what? Because I gave you feedback? You cried the whole day, you will not cook? Not in my home. You have to wake up and cook. Because no matter what happens between us, I don't quit job to say that I want to protect you and provide for you. I do it. I do it because it's the role I've taken and it's my responsibility to do. Now, you being here, we've agreed. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, take care of the kids. It comes with responsibilities. When we deal with ourselves, it's because we want to be able to work through our issues. When you give me feedback, I'll take it. I'll appreciate you. But I don't go and come back and don't talk to you for 2 weeks. When you're faced with that reality, the person can speak the sweetest truth to you. But when you have a lady that or a guy who is unintelligent emotionally, these are the ones that will cry, they will not talk to you and things. When you are faced with that, that is a reality that can break your home, because you are also the kind who want to share these truths. Then it means that you either come to the point you say, you know what, I don't want to talk about your issues again. Whatever you do,
that's on you.
But that will destroy your home.
Yes.
It will even destroy your partner
Right.
if you're not sharing those feedbacks. And unfortunately, those are the kinds of people sometimes a lot of us get married to. You give them feedback, problem. And they want you to live their lives to be whatever it is. And there's this, the tangent they come of, so if you love me, accept me the way I am. If I accept you the way you are, I have placed permanent to your present state. It will not help you. Anybody who accepts you the way you are would destroy your future. Because what they have done is they placed permanent to where you are today. You will never grow. That is why the feedbacks are important.
Right.
And when we query things and we want to ask questions, they're hard questions, it doesn't mean you don't love the person. You're just trying to build the future together.
All right, so talking about future and intimacy, how does love languages actually play a role in building your intimacy?
So I think that when you understand the love language of your partner and you can be able to be emotionally intelligent in dealing with things. Remember, I said something that you can even postpone your reaction. So I want to build intimacy tonight. I want, I want things to go home and to enjoy my youth.
Yeah.
Or you want to enjoy your youth. There is something that I observed I need to deal with, but I know that if I do it, it will get you into an emotional state that takes you off that rail. You can postpone your reaction.
Wow.
So those are the people that are emotionally intelligent. So they can postpone the reaction. They will enjoy themselves.
The moment. Let's enjoy the moment.
Let's enjoy the moment. And when they are done, they can come to you and say, sweetheart, you know what? I think that during this time, this and that happened. I don't think it's right. And afterwards, they can deal with the issues as appropriately as possible.
Right. So, as people grow together, or couples grow together, they begin to evolve.
Yep.
They begin to like new things. So how do they navigate that together with their love languages? Wait, before you answer that, do love languages ever change?
Oh, yeah.
So
taste and preferences change.
Right.
I mean, when you were young, today, you're talking about words of affirmation not being your thing.
Yeah.
Because when you were young, you can attest to the fact that you liked it when you were developing, body-wise, and people will see you and they will comment about it, they give you compliments. It does something to you.
Right.
After you've grown for a long time, it's like,
I've heard so many times, I'm sorry.
It doesn't really.
Yeah.
Then you have different tastes and preferences.
Right.
You love to receive stuff. So now when people bring stuff, it does something to you. When people do certain things, when someone touches in the right way, it does something to you. And those are the things. So yes, those things are never permanent. And that's one beauty about life. Nothing is permanent. Things change. And constantly, if you have a partner, you need to know what is changing with them so that you can keep adapting to the change and become relevant or maintain relevance with them while you are in that relationship.
Right. I think this is a very important conversation to have. But we have a message here, and the message says, is money part of love languages?
If you classify them under gifts, if it comes as a gift, yes. But like I said, there are people who believe that money is their love language. Just give them money, their love will be triggered.
Yeah.
At that point, I ask, do you have money?
Yes.
If you say no, then it means that you don't even know how to speak your own love language.
But must your love language like maybe what you like, actually be what you also like to give?
The truth is, many times, what works with you psychologically you like to also see it happen on the other side.
Right.
You mentioned, loving to receive gifts.
Yes.
But then you also love to.
I love giving
exactly.
gifts. Yeah, I love
So many
surprising you.
times,
Like, yeah.
the one who loves touch loves to touch. And because you see, that's what makes it work for them.
Yeah.
So because this works for them, they want to also, many times send it across on the other side.
Well, this is very interesting. But what are some of the challenges that people go through when trying to identify someone else's love language?
There are people many times that are not straightforward. When I say straight, I don't mean they mean to deceive, but sometimes they are not even sure of themselves. There are people you meet that today it's this, tomorrow it's that. They don't even know themselves well.
So would you say self-awareness can actually help you know what your love language
Exactly.
is?
You say you must be, and that is why emotional intelligence play a role, and it's intertwined.
Yeah.
And when you're able to understand that self-awareness matter, I should know what my limits are.
Yeah, but how can you identify someone that is already self-aware? Because I feel like, for me, I've gone through that process of self-awareness, and I don't know about any other person, but how can you identify if the next person has also gone through that stage of being self-aware? Because most of the time something happens before you realize that, oh, this is who I am. This is what I really like. This can't work with me, and that's the moment you realize, Eureka, this is self-awareness moment. So how will I know someone has gone through that stage?
Okay. The honest truth is you would not. When you're still discovering together. So this typically is someone who hasn't come to that realization. As long as they're at that point, they wouldn't even know what works for them.
So everything goes?
Everything goes.
Eesh.
You meet people, you ask them what's your favorite meal. So they'll eat everything, except tapping time and quota. Bring anything, they'll eat. But there are people that are very specific, what works for them, what they like, even how they like it, how they like their steak, how they like their fish and all that. So you will meet such.
Yeah.
I think that what is difficult is when you meet someone who don't even know themselves well. They have no standards. They have no way of actually, actualizing their own lives. Someone like that will be difficult to really please when you live together with them.
Right.
So finding the people who understand themselves, they know what they can take, they know what is not allowed in their environment. It helps them to also educate you if you really need to, live life together.
All right. So, Reverend, we've never asked you anything personal before, but today we're switching it up. We're switching up. Can you share a memorable moment where you felt truly connected to your wife?
Oh my word.
Through their love languages.
Well, I don't like doing a lot of personal stuff because I'm already out there.
But we like to hear.
Oh yeah, I know. You're in the media. You're in the media. I think which one do I bring?
Hey, there are plenty.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've shared a lot of very great times.
Yeah.
So I could use one example. I lived in South Africa for about 12, 13 years. I worked there. My wife was doing a couple of businesses at home, and I will travel. I traveled out a lot by virtue of my work as a training consultant. And there are times that I would, book maybe. And on some of my travels, instead of flying, I love to drive the countryside. So I would rather book, a ride and drive down the countryside and take her along, see different places. I won't tell her what's coming up, so just come and say, hey, we're going. And I think she loves surprises. But by the time we get there, I've planned a lot of things that are waiting. And hey, this is your aid.
Hey. Reverend, you're sweet. That's nice.
I try, so I think yes. When I discovered that she loves surprises,
Right.
Last year was her birthday. I made a day pass. We did a gnome, but then I had actually worked out with a friend like a week ahead of time to do some gifts, and I wanted to be really delivered when I'm not at home and see what's up, And the kids were home then, So naturally, they would take videos and stuff, and then they started shooting it.
Wow.
So by the time I got home,
You've done everything already. Anyway, on that note, we've come to the end of this episode. Reverend, thank you so much. It's been an interesting one, and I hope you've heard everything he said. If you're out there trying to struggle to find what your partner's love languages are, all you need to do is have that conversation with them, or try to find out and then spice things up. Anyway, Reverend, how can people reach out to you?
You can't reach me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn and TikTok. Bernie Osadia, you'll find me there. Other than that, I'm on WhatsApp, 0500 200 944. 0500 200 944. That's how you can. Please, WhatsApp, don't call. WhatsApp, I'll be glad to respond to you. And I'll be glad, share your issues. Let's see how we can help you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This has been Before You Say I Do. See you on the next episode.